And welcome back to another episode of Underdog Podcast. I know it's been about a week or so, maybe a little just under a week since I did the last podcast episode. Podcast episode. Wow, somebody's out of touch. So yeah, it's been a few days, almost a week since I did a podcast, and had family visiting and really enjoyed and appreciated their time and yeah, we live in this world where it's nice to know that people are capable of having long-term relationships for long lasting times. And I say family, but not blood relatives, but to have a long lasting relationship over years. We all have different interests, we all have different viewpoints and perspectives on life, but something at our core binds us together. Something about loyalty, respect for each other, caring for each other, having foundation and family and stuff like that. That's what's hold us together. That's what's binds us together. It's the human species. Outside of race, religion, sexual orientation, all the other stupid fucking things that you hear, all those other labels and stuff. Yeah, I just want to throw that out there. So I really appreciate the time I spent with those people and love them to death and all that good shit. So today's topic, and man, I didn't even want to talk about this today because I seen a whole bunch of stuff over these past few days that I've been like saving up that I want to talk about, different things as far as CDC guidelines, masks, and COVID-19 stuff, and stuff that was going on in Biden administration, things that the GOP party and stuff like that, which should probably just be blown up. Fuck it, fuck it all, fuck it all, fuck the White House, fuck it all, government, Democrats, Republicans, fuck everything, fuck it all, destroy it all, start over. Sometimes I feel like that, but yeah. But I seen uh I didn't watch the interview because I don't like Oprah Winfrey and I don't give a shit about Prince Henry, or is he still a prince, whatever, or Meghan Markle. Don't give a shit about him. So don't care about a royal fucking family neither. So for my listeners in the UK and stuff, sorry, I don't care about the royal family. Call it American bravado, call it American asshole, whatever you want to call it, but it is what it is. I don't. If I don't like government, I'm damn sure not about to respect a monarchy. Get the fuck out of here. So I seen the thing with the whole. Uh, I guess some of the excerpts are one of the biggest takes from the interview. As far as Meghan Markle, who's black apparently. I guess we just throw that out there with anybody. Uh, she looks. I don't know. It's funny because when we talk about black or skin color, we're not actually talking about skin color alone. I mentioned this before. We're talking about facial features, hair texture, right? That's what we're talking about. All these things that are due to environmental factors through thousands, if not millions of years of genetics. That's it. That's what we're talking about. So there we go. So I'll throw that out there real quick. Because I mean, you look at her in a certain lighting, she don't look that much black to me. But that's just me. That's just me. Once again, as the title of the episode of today's podcast says, I am racist, and I'm letting you know right now how racist I am. And you're like, you're not racist. You're not racist. You gotta hate people. Not necessarily. We're gonna kind of break that down too. So I don't know if y'all can hear that fire engine, whatever, the siren stuff across the street, whatever. So I guess one of her biggest takeaways from the interview, or one of the biggest takeaways from the interview that kind of speculating now in the mainstream media and the news cycle, is that she called the royal family racist. And here we go again. I don't like to talk about race. If you've been following the podcast before in the past, you can check out other episodes. I talk about how does I ask the question: does race exist? Race exists and doesn't exist at the same time. Duality. I know it might go over some people's heads, but stick with me. Stick with me here, because this is not about emotions. This is about logic, using your critical thinking and reasoning skills to understand the world around you, as well as expanding your conscious awareness and expanding and seeing from different perspectives. So as Meghan Markle, where the fuck her name is, as she says the royal family is racist, my first thought is one, like I said, oh shit, that's right, she is black, supposedly, whatever. So that was my first thought, and I was like, okay, whatever, I get it. She looks like it, I can see the hair texture, blah blah. Okay, we're going with that mulatto mix, whatever. We're gonna go with that. All right. My second thought is, here we go. You're saying something that really can't be proven, nor can it be disproven, because majority of us, when I say majority, I'm talking about the 99.997% of the whole population, will not know or will not have any personal relationship with anyone from the royal family. So therefore, you can't confirm this. You can't confirm this for yourself. So you can only take someone else's perspective or opinion. And someone can say they are, and someone can say they're not. And that's all you can do is accept it. And then my third takeaway from it, as I'm sitting on the toilet in my thinking spot, and I'm like, hey, what the fuck is going on here? Like, everyone's racist. Dr. Seuss is racist. Everybody's racist. And it's like, you know what? Technically, by definition, are we all racist? Are we all racist? So I'm gonna take you back to a time. It was like 2015. I mentioned before, as I try to follow some of the principles of Buddhism, and I studied that over the years, and not so hardcore as the main principles of the middle pathway, stuff like that. I don't go into super. I don't go into like churches. Stuff. That's not me. That's not me. I take things. I like some things about a certain spirituality or spiritual teaching or certain religious aspects, and I throw it all together and I make my own shit. Right? That's what I do. Maybe you call it reboot in Hollywood, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, that's what I do. So one of the biggest things that stuck out with Buddhism, and it's something that I learned from other people, adults, and my mother, my parents. You're growing up, you hear your parents say, "Focus on yourself. Don't worry about what everyone else around the world is doing. Don't worry about the people across the street doing all that stuff. Focus on yourself." So as a kid, I remember hearing that all the time. Focus on yourself. And then you hear that one proverb, that one quote that says, if you want to change the world or be the change that you want to see in the world or whatever. So basically, if you want change in the world, it has to start with changing yourself. So I adopt that type of mantra in my life. More recently, over the past 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. So there was a time where I was really contemplating, like, hey, what can I do better to better myself in life? And I wasn't in a bad situation, but at the same time, I'm like, hey, what is going on here? I need to look inwards. And I was always that type of person where I looked inwards anyways, because I got control issues. I don't like the fact that someone can have a control over my life, or someone can have an influence over my life. So I'd rather the blame be on me than the blame be on someone else. I mentioned this before too. I don't. If the blame is on me, I can control that. If the blame is on you, I can't control you. So I'd rather have the ball in my court. When I played basketball, I was always a point guard. I was trying to explain to my son, like, I was a point guard really because, one, I'm smaller than everybody, and I had good handling skills and stuff like that. But at the same time, I like having control over it because it's not a trust thing, but I believe in myself more than I believe in anyone else on the fucking court. So I believe in myself that I will do what's best for me and the team. So let's say you call it a little control issue. All right, I get it. I get it. I'm just kind of letting you know where my perspective is coming from as I, explain my thought process on my opinion on this topic or this subject. I'm not, when we talk about race and stuff, my first thought is, like I said, like I'm looking towards myself. So I don't feel like I can't call someone else, I cannot call someone else racist if myself can be called racist as well. You see, I won't make that accusation on someone else if that accusation can be made on myself. Thus, what I'm saying is I'm not going to be a hypocrite. And I'm not necessarily talking about a negative connotation when we're talking about race or racist. I'll break that down a little bit further as we go along. But just the fact that every now and then I think about race. And because you're thinking about race, it's hard for you to not to be racist at some point in time in your life. So over these past few years, I've been trying my best to not speak about race in the sense of I'm not gonna call this person black. I'm not gonna call this person white. I'm not gonna call this person. It's funny because in America it's only black and white. We stop at those two colors. Because if I can't call you red if you're Native American, because that's racist, because Redskins, right? I can kind of get away with calling you brown, but brown I guess means Hispanic, but not necessarily Hispanic from Europe, from the European, from Europe, yeah, from Europe, like Spain and Portugal, but Hispanic as in South America or Caribbean. Okay, like really think about this shit, man. Think about things. You see, race has been weaponized, and it's been so tied to emotions that those emotions cloud our not judgment, our critical thinking skills, our logic, and our reasoning. Because if you sit down and think about these things, they don't actually make sense. And this is something I talked about before, as far as when I was a kid. Like the first time I felt that I was racist was when I was a kid, and it was in the third grade. There was two instances. One was around the time when O.J. Simpson hopped in the white Bronco and took off. So this is what 95, 90s, 95, 96, somewhere, whatever, whenever the trial was, more or less. That's what I really want to say. So when the trial happened, I was thinking about. I remember the white kids in class we were talking about, oh yeah, he's guilty. Probably going off the things their parents were saying, because we're in the third grade, we don't really know too much shit. And then the black kids in class were going off the fact that, they're saying the opposite, like, oh, he's not he's not guilty, he's innocent. Obviously, that's going off of what our parents are talking about. But I never forget thinking that, man, why are we divided on this? And I know none of us know actually what the fuck is going on, because we're kids. Like, what are we talking about here? Fuck the fuck? You barely know 4 times 4. You talking about, oh, O.J. Simpson is guilty or not guilty? Shut up. So, there's also another incident I talked about before that I watched Roots. And I never forget watching Roots and looking at the white kids in class and being mad at them. And I remember feeling, wow, why I feel this way towards these people when they have nothing to do. Just because these people that they're showing me on this TV show, which is really fucking boring because I fell asleep. The people that they showed me on this TV show, they got Kunta Kinte, the same man from Reading Rainbow. He's telling me that, where it was Free Us Massa, wherever he said in the line and stuff. That's one of the, I guess, more known lines and stuff from the show. It's funny to me because at that point in time, it's like I never stopped thinking, like, hey, I don't understand, why do I feel this way? Why are we talking about this? Like, why are they showing this movie or this TV show, this series to us in school? And I talked about before that I got made fun of a lot when I was a kid. Hell, I still get made fun of. I know people mock me. I'm not stupid. Or not, I'm not gonna say I'm not stupid. I'm not unaware. I'm completely aware of the moments, and my awareness and my ability to be present in the moment has increased over the years. So I'm aware of the moment. I know when people are mocking me, when they're making fun of me because I'm nerdy. I walk around with a Dragon Ball Z shirt on, or a fucking Mighty Morphin Power Ranger shirt on, or stuff like that. I know you don't see me with so many black people and stuff like that. I know people see me dating white women and stuff. I know black people, white people, everybody thinks that I'm not really that black and stuff like that. I get it. I know they mock me. It doesn't bother me. It used to when I was a kid and growing up and stuff. And then some of my adult years. But once again, back in 2015, I really sat down and really thought about myself, thought about a lot of things, and which I've always done my whole life because I spent a good amount of time in isolation because that's the way I like it. I just need to be able to hear my own thoughts, and I can't hear my own thoughts if there's a bunch of people around. You understand? So I have to hear my own thoughts unabated, unimpeded, or I'm trying to think of the right word. Just no one's intruding in my thoughts, or affecting or influencing my thoughts. So as I think about these things, as far as race goes, I don't get mad when I know people are mocking me because I know that I'm not saying I'm smarter than anybody or anything like that. I know that I've taken the time to sit down and really think about this stuff, and really question it, and also question myself and look at myself and say, hey, you're racist, guy. Stop being so goddamn racist. In the sense of what they say racist is. We'll kind of talk about definitions here in a little bit. So you go back when I was a kid, I got made fun of. I used to get called Oreo. You're black on the outside and white on the inside. I hated that shit so much when I was a kid, man, because I thought it was the most dumbest thing. Because it's like, what? How can you be white on the inside? Like, I get the reference, but if a joke is illogical, I don't like it. It doesn't make sense. And there's certain things that you can kind of get away with that, but that's not one of those. Because I'm like, one, my skin is not the same color as an Oreo, so therefore the analogy goes completely out the window, or analogy, metaphor, whatever you want to say, goes completely out the window. So that's not the same thing. And obviously, you can't be white on the inside. But I get what they're trying to say. Yeah, it's a kind of a mixture of a metaphor and analogy, but it's horrible because it doesn't make sense. I've been made fun of because of the way I talk, right? That I talk with, I talk proper. I speak white, which is the most backward ass shit, that you can think of, right? It's really backwards. It's odd because if I have a type of dialect, or some type of speech manner, or I can't think of any other words to describe it, but yeah, I guess dialect would be the word. It would just be maybe a southern influence. But then again, I'm in Florida, so how much southern influence can you have? So yeah, that's just the way it goes. You kind of pick up the lingo based on different things you hear, the way your parents talk, and things of that nature. Take you back when I was a kid too. My mom made fun of me because I wrote her a poem, and it's not in a bad way, but she was telling me, "Hey, you write the way you talk," and I was like, "Okay," but she's like, "That's not good." She was letting me know, hey, you need to speak better. You need to be more clear. You need to pronunciate. You need to choose your words, use your vocabulary. Well, yeah, because this is an English language. Therefore, I should probably speak it in a manner in which is understandable. The English language alone is already fucking confusing. So you probably don't want to make things worse. Especially, you know, as a little kid, little Damien growing up, and then Damien becomes an adult. All of a sudden, you can't have the same speech and dialect when you're trying to talk to people all around the world, right? So I have to speak in a manner in which majority of people who understand the English language can get. But at the same time, I have to speak in a manner in which I understand what I'm saying. I don't really use too much slang, and I got made fun of when as a kid, when I would try to say slang, or when I would not try, when I would use slang words and stuff, and I hear them, and like, oh, he's trying to sound black, and I'm like, well, fuck you too then. But so my mindset is, as a kid, I'm thinking about this, like, man, I can't. None of this stuff makes sense. It was like, oh, white girls have no butts. But I'm like, oh, well, this white girl in this class has a butt bigger than the black girls. What are you guys talking about? Right? Oh, black people don't play golf. And then you have Tiger Woods. And it's like, oh, well, there goes that narrative. So as I'm watching all the stereotypes just be completely thrown out the window because they don't make no sense, I'm sitting there thinking, well, man, I have to be racist myself because I used to make this joke saying, "Oh, black people can't be racist." That's completely false statement. Anybody can be racist. I understand anyone can be racist. So much to the fact that majority of people are racist and don't even know it. I'm not just talking about like white people. Black people, everybody, especially everybody in fucking America, because we have race drilled into us from the time we're kids. I understand that race and racism only exists because it is taught to kids. You are taught these things. You are taught these things. When you say another person is black, when you say another person is white, when you describe a person based on their race and not the individual, you align yourself with racist thoughts. That's something I have to look in the mirror and realize that I was racist majority of my life. And I've been trying my hardest these past 5, 6, 7, whatever years, probably since I was way back, since I was a kid, maybe, trying my best not to be racist. That's all I've been trying to do because I am racist. When I walk into a building and I see a bunch of white people, my first thought is, damn, there's a lot of white people here. I don't want to be here. When I walk into a building and there's a bunch of black people and there's only black people, my first thought is, damn, I don't want to be here. There's a lot of black people here. Racist. Racist. When I see a little white kid dribbling the basketball and he looks smooth, he looks like Jason Williams, calling him white chocolate, racist. It's racist, bro. That's all it is. And I started off and I said this when I started the episode, I was talking about Meghan Markle. It's because I caught myself again being racist. Because my first thought was, she ain't fucking black. Therefore, I am racist because that should not be my thought at all. My thought shouldn't be anything other than that's Meghan Markle. I don't know her. She don't know me. We will never speak. I hope we never speak. That'll be awkward. Not for me though. I'm definitely gonna fucking make fun of this shit. But that's what it is. She's pretty though. So Miss Harry Bear, watch out. Anyway, but that's the thing though, man. I looked at that and my first thought was she ain't black. I'm racist. So I'm still trying my best not to be racist. Because it's so drilled into us. Because that's all we ever fucking hear. My first thought should have not been any of that. My first thought should have been nothing other than, I don't know anything about these people. Let me look up on this before I have an opinion. That should have been my first goddamn thought, but it fucking wasn't. My first thought was, she ain't black. I'm fucking racist because I sat there and judged her based on the color of her skin, her facial features, and her hair textures. Racist. Fucking racist. So I had to look myself in the mirror. I had to talk to myself last night and be like, hey, bro, you're fucking racist, man. You're still doing the same shit that you've been trying not to do. You need to be better. I'm a racist piece of shit. Oh my God, I'm racist. And so are you. Hey, I'm just throwing it out there. If I am, I know the fuck y'all are. Now, I can't say that. I can't say that. Not for everybody, but you get the point of which I'm trying to make. Yeah, we got to look at ourselves first before we try to call someone else something. That goes with anything. Was it though? He without sin cast the first stone? Looks like no stones to be casting. I'm just saying. So let's see. Let me pull this up real quick. So here we have the definition of racism. For those of you on the audio version of the podcast, I searched in DuckDuckGo search engine. I just race. So we have definition of racism from Merriam-Webster dictionary. You know, because Merriam-Webster's been around since 1828. Blah blah. Who cares? So it says race. Now definition A. Any one of the groups that humans are often divided into based on physical traits regarded as common among people of shared ancestry. So, making up shit. Because when it says traits regarded as common among people of shared ancestry, you're basically saying, yeah, we just kind of, you guys have the same skin color, so you must be from the same race, class of people. Understand too, scientifically, race does not exist. You're just humans. You're just humans. You're just humans. The next definition B, It says a group of people sharing a common culture, geographical, linguistic, or religious origin or ethnic background. So that would be your Jews, the Jewish so-called community. That's them. That's race. Once again, making up categories, finding a way to classify people, even though you can't really classify human beings other than things based on physicality. And if the universe is an illusion, doesn't really fucking matter anyway. So that's the dated version. It says archaic, the descendants of a common ancestor, a group sharing a common lineage. Second definition, a group of living things considered as a category. Considered. Pay attention to words. Considered. Regarded. Meaning, yes, a bunch of people say it, so we go with it. The blind leading the blind is exactly what is going on. Let's see. There's a fact of dividing people or people being divided into such groups. Making shit up yet again. See, biology, a group within a species that is distinguishable. That's metaphor. Oh my god, behaviorally, whatever, man. So you're making that up, right? And then you have the definition for racism. Let's go with the same thing, right? Let's go with the same thing. Merriam-Webster dictionary. Says one definition is a belief. A belief. Meaning there is no actual scientific data, no evidence, no real logical reasoning behind this. People just feel this way. People just have an emotional response to this. A belief that race is a fundamental determinant of human traits and capacities, and that racial differences produce an inherent superiority of a particular race. So let's look at the last part. It says an inherent superiority of a particular race. It gives a little example, but the one most people are familiar with in America, at least, when you talk about Hitler, and I forget which Olympics it was, whatever 1940, whatever 1930, somewhere the Olympics it was, and he was talking about the Aryan race and how they're significant, or just better than everybody else, stuff like that. And of course, Hitler is beyond regarded and accepted as being racist, right? In his social experiment, probably was a crazed man that was propped up on purpose, but whatever. So, an inherent superiority of a particular race, racist, right? Racism. So you'll say, okay, yeah, because white supremacists. Let's go with that. White supremacists, because that seems to be the theme of the day, even though you probably never ever met a white supremacist in your goddamn life. But don't worry, apparently they're all over the place. Boogeyman. So you have an inherent superiority of a particular race. White nationalists, that seems neo-Nazi, that seems to be the main thing about them when they're spoken of. Because you never speak to them, you only hear about them, right? An inherent superiority of a particular race. White supremacists think that they are superior to other races because of their white pale skin. That doesn't make sense. Majority of people can agree that that does not make sense. Yet when you flip the script and you say black people are inherently more superior at sports, that black people are more inherently, genetically, where you want to call it, better athletes than white people. How is that not racist? That's racist. There's no fact base in that at all. There's no scientific evidence. There's no actual study. That's just racist. And if you say, well, no, white people or black people are better at sports and stuff than white people because we have proven it, because you see, pay attention to how all the, you got basketball, right? Look at basketball. More basketball players, or majority of basketball players in the NBA are black, right? Yet It was a Canadian white man that made basketball, that created basketball. Dr. Naismith, I believe at the University of Kansas. So a white man created basketball. And white people first played basketball, but don't worry, black people are more inherently superiority, athletically speaking. So that once they got into the sport, they came over and dominated. Having that mindset alone is racist. So when we talk about racist and racism, the connotation always is that it's negative. But universal law of polarity, the universal law of rhythm, going from one end of the spectrum to the other, you can have something positive, you can also have something negative, but in the middle, it is what? Neutral. So racist can be positive, negative, or neutral, all depending on your own perspective. Well, how can you have a positive example of racism? I just said it right there. Because white people, everybody be like, oh yeah, black people are athletically more better. Oh, that's a positive spin. But if you flip it and then you say white people are athletically more better, then guess what? It's racist. Nothing actually changes other than you. That's it. Nothing actually changes in that statement other than your perspective on how you perceive that statement. If I say black people are athletically more better and superior than other races, everybody be like, yeah, because we see black people in football, basketball, and they show up in tennis and stuff and golf. You got Mark Spitz, whatever, is supposed to be black, and swimming and stuff like that. Look, they're so much better. But if I sit here and say white people are better, athletically speaking, because white people started playing football, white people started playing baseball, white people started playing basketball, stuff like that, or whatever. All of a sudden now it's racist. Yet nothing has actually changed other than your perspective. Thus, I am racist, you are racist, we all are racist. Because long as you identify race and go into this nonsensical narrative, you cannot escape being racist. It's inevitable. Understand that. You cannot be, you will always be, you will have racism in you. You will talk in racist terms. Let's see what else it says. One of the definitions says behavioral attitudes that reflect and foster disbelief, racial discrimination or prejudice. See, it goes into racial discrimination or prejudice, but no. If you think black people talk a certain way, that all black people talk a certain way, you're white, that's racist. But if you're black and you say it, then you're not racist, even though it's literally the exact same fucking thing. What's the difference? Nothing. Once again, the only difference is your perspective. Oh, and I know I'm going to piss people off with this. But yet again, I piss people off all the damn time. So it is what it is. Because I know I'm not actually making anyone mad when I say this stuff. When I say it, it makes people confront themselves. No one wants to confront themselves. Like I said, I had to look at myself and ask myself these questions like, hey, bro, are you racist? Are you racist? Because I married a white woman, had a child with her. I dated plenty of white women. I haven't dated plenty of women, period. But I dated white women. I dated black women, Hispanic women, Asian women, whatever. So I dated these different type of women, but no one sees that. They see me with a white girl, and they're like, oh, well, he don't like white women. Well, is that not racist? Regardless of who it comes from, regardless of what skin tone someone says that, or regardless of what the skin tone of the person that says that is racist, period. That's racist. Based on the definition of which society, especially in America, gives off. Don't get mad at me for it. You guys are saying this, right? This is what society is saying. This is what mainstream media is saying. Everything's racist. Everyone's racist. Everything's about racism. Racism. Does anybody not understand that this is literally done by design to keep us distracted? The whole Meghan Markle thing is racist. That's all distractions. All the shit is distractions. Because if you pay attention, we're all getting fucked up the ass. Ice Cube, no Vaseline. Oh shit. Oh man, oh my god, that's funny. That's funny. You gotta understand this stuff, man. You gotta call yourself out first before you can call someone else out. You gotta look at yourself first. It's the same shit your parents probably told you when you were kids. This is what my parents told me. Hey, before you talk about someone else, look at yourself first. So before I call someone racist, I need to look at myself first. I cannot call someone else racist because I am. Because I am. And my racism doesn't come from any negative aspect. So if I call someone racist, then I can't call them racist from a negative aspect. Essentially, is what I'm saying, or in negative terms. You have a white person, and all they have is one black friend. And the first thing that comes out of their mouth is that they can say stuff about Black Lives Matter, and they hate that. And they're like, you know what? I'm not black. I have white friends. I have black friends. And then black people be like, oh, well, that's racist. And because you have a couple of black friends, they probably some Uncle Tom coons and stuff, which that black friend would more than likely be someone like me, more than likely be fucking me. And so I don't count because, I'm an Uncle Tom, right? I'm a coon. I'm a cracker lover, right? So I don't count. That's okay. Like, these things don't bother me. They don't hurt me because it's illogical. I know that for the most part, a lot of people just are unaware. And it's not anyone's fault. Actually, it is. It is your fault. I tell you the bad, it is your fault. But it's been embedded in you since you were a child, especially being born and raised in America. It's been embedded in you. So it's something that it takes some time to get it out of you, but it's possible. There is light at the end of the tunnel. But so you have that situation where someone with one black friend, a white person with one black friend, be like, oh, because talk about Black Lives Matter, saying it's stupid and stuff like that, and then black people are like, well, you're racist, and the white person will be like, well, no, I'm not, because I have black friends stuff, and then black people be like, that don't mean nothing, you're still racist. In that sense, same argument goes both ways, right? There's no reason for the argument not to go both ways, and if you try to tie in the history of slavery and all this other shit, you can't, because every race on this planet has been slaves. Every race on this planet has been slaves. And you say, from even an American perspective, sorry to break it to you, but there's been white slaves in America. I don't know if you realize that, but when you do some history, you will find it. Or when you dig into some history, you will find it. Remember, everything's a lie, and at best, you're getting half truths. At best, you'll get you only hearing about 1% of a situation. So you're not really getting the totality of a whole situation. You're only hearing a little bit about a situation or a little bit about history. So there've been white slaves in America. You're talking about the Irish people, but also other ones. Understand that. Slavery is business. Slavery doesn't make sense unless you see it from the perspective of business. And you realize, oh, people are just shitty human beings to each other. That's it. So when we talk about races, we're also talking about, we're mainly talking about a negative thing. Saying that, oh, you don't like me because of the color of my skin. Or you're being prejudiced towards me because of the color of my skin. You're telling me black people don't look at a little white boy playing basketball and thinking, oh man, he got some skill in him. You don't see a white boy like that dribble the ball. Right? I like to have a lot of sports references because sports is a great analogy for life, or a metaphor as well. So, Christian McCaffrey, what is he, all pro, Pro Bowl running back, helping me on my fantasy team, the running back for the Carolina Panthers, the way he runs the ball, what is everyone thinking? Oh man, you don't see no white boy run the ball like that. That white boy runs the ball like he black. That's the most racist shit you can think of, bro. And let's say it's the most racist thing you can think of in a non-negative way, right? Because that's a backhanded compliment, saying, "Oh man, you can run the ball really well for being white." Yet, if he was black, it's completely fucking racist. And see, I'm trying my best not to be a hypocrite. I'm trying my best not to be racist. And this is when I have to confront those things, because it's really fucked up when you think about it. To know that the second you switch the skin color, it's no longer racist. Like that's not true. That's not how equations work. You can't do that, right? Just because you take out some of the variables, if it's absolute, then nothing change. Regardless of the variable changes, it still is absolute when you're talking about the final result or you're talking about the truth of the matter. But that's racist, right? I don't understand how people don't look at that and see that as racist. But then I had to think some more about it and realize that it's tied into emotions and that racism, racist, it's all by design. It's all by design to divide people up. How do you divide a nation within itself? Well, you can't necessarily go with, hey, well, you're from this state, you're from that state, especially in America, because you got so many states, right? Or you can probably go with North and South. Well, they already tried that. Civil War. It's funny because you have a North and South in the Civil War, yet North and South of what? The Mason-Dixie line? Oh, you mean this imaginary line we decided to put to put on the map? And oh, look, now this is part of the North side, and this is part of the South side. We're just making shit up, man. We're just making shit up. We're just making shit up. That's all it is. Look at the definition of racism. It says the systematic oppression of a racial group to the social, economic, and political advantage of another, specifically white supremacy. That's what does that actually mean? The systematic oppression. How? I got this guy. Forget his name. He does a great video on it and breaking down the saying that systematic oppression is false because you have the Civil Rights Act, so therefore, and other different legislation acts in America has been passed. But systematic oppression. So that means the system inherently is racist towards a certain group of people based on their skin color, particularly when you talk about white people versus black people. Because, in America, no one else matters. No one else matters. Because Asians, what do you think? You don't throw Asians in with white people. You don't throw Asians in with black people. Why is that? Meghan Markle is a white black woman, right? See? Racist. Now, look how racist that is. That's fucking racist right there. That's a complete racist statement. I just called her a white black woman. That makes no goddamn sense. She's a woman who lives in America, who's a human being. That's it. That's it. Anything, all those things are just trying to describe it. But first and foremost, what she is, what you are, what I am, is the individual. Outside of that, it's either me, then we, or you, then us. Meaning it's yourself and then everyone else in the human species. That's it. That's it. Because I'm not going to get into how we're all connected, whether it be an alien being, whether it be an ant in the fucking ground. We're all connected. I mean, that's what science says, right? We were talking about atoms. We all share a lot of the same atoms. Energy is neither destroyed nor created. It just always exists. Therefore, it just transfers from one thing to the next, from one existence to the next, from one state of matter to the next. So we're all connected. Was it 60%? I used to say it was 95%. I don't know where I got it from. I guess it's 60%, 50% of our DNA is similar to a banana. So we share similar characteristics to a banana. And 99.9% of us, of all human beings on this planet, have the same DNA. So the 0.01% difference, I seen this on some website. I should have kept it. But it was saying that 0.01% is the difference of us. It's probably less than that, but the difference is our physical features, which is also bullshit because, don't worry, stay in a certain region for X amount of generations, and those physical features will change. What do you do? And I did this on an episode where I talked about, I think the first day of February when I talked about Black History Month. And I showed you guys you have blonde hair, blue eye, curly, dark skin people, tribes in Australia who are direct descendants of those who migrated out of Africa. Because the migration out of Africa, actually went east, go along the Persian Gulf, go along the Indian Ocean, coming down to Australia, going across to South America. Oh, my fault. You thought people didn't have boats way back then? Sorry to burst your bubble. People have been moving around the world for thousands of years. You just didn't know about it because they won't teach that in school. Because everybody wants to feel like they're the top dog. So we want to say, oh, yeah, we just discovered this a couple hundred years ago. Look how great we are. Shut up. Stop looking your own nutsack. But you talk about systematic oppression. See, that word angers you because, like, we're being oppressed. I didn't know anybody was oppressing me. I don't think I'm being oppressed. If I'm being oppressed, then we're all being oppressed because at what point in time can you stop me based on my skin color in this modern day in America? And the first thing you hear about, oh, you didn't get this. Oh, it's probably because you're black. Well, why is that? To me, that's a cop out. That's a lazy excuse. That's a lazy excuse. Like I talk to my friends and family members and stuff like that. Like I don't like when you talk about race and stuff. Like I don't get that. That doesn't make sense to me. It's like, oh, this and that. I'm like, well, whatever. I don't care. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't care. And those people can all think I'm, Uncle Tom or Sellout Coon. It doesn't matter because it doesn't hurt my feelings because my perspective is different. Because I don't have a perspective, I have perspectives with an S, plural. Because how can you say these things, right? In the black community, COVID-19 is spreading so fast. How do you get that statistic? And how's that not racist? To say that because you're black, you have a higher chance of getting COVID-19. How is that not racist, bro? That's fucking racism. That's racism. A belief, right? A belief that race is fundamental determinant of human traits. So because of my skin color, because of my facial features, because of my hair texture, I have a higher chance of getting COVID-19 for no fucking reason. How is that not racist? How does that even make sense? You can't make this shit make sense because it's not designed to make sense because it does not come from a logical reasoning foundation. It comes from emotion. It comes from, I just feel this way better than you. And when we talk about racism, as far as when we talk about white supremacy, all that it is people that just hate each other. Or people that hate other people. Really, it's people that hate themselves first. It's people that do not like something about themselves first. So in order to make themselves feel better, guess what? They gotta put someone else down because they do not know how to elevate themselves internally. So they had to do it externally by de-elevating someone else. Once again, go back to some of the Buddhist principles. Let go of the ego. So these few years back, when I was looking into Buddhism, the one of the main things that stood out was you need to let go of your ego. Stop seeing the self. Yeah, you the individual are there, but you're also part of a bigger universe around you. I have a spiritual connection, or at least I'm trying to have a spiritual connection with everyone around me and everyone in the entire universe and everything in existence in the entire universe, from the plants and animals to the fucking atoms in the atmosphere. All that stuff. I'm trying to have a connection with it all. This shit's gonna go over people's heads. This is something that I might be saying that is a little bit ahead of its time. Not ahead of its time because it seems so forward thinking. Ahead of its time because, well, I'm thinking about it from a logical standpoint. A lot of people in America are still caught on the emotional side of this argument. If you want to call it an argument, to me, because it's not. It doesn't make sense. You can't make it make sense. So as I let go of my ego, I realized, well, I'm not all these different labels that they tell me. I just am who I am, and I will be who I will be. And that's for me to determine. And that's for me to decide. And that's for me to work on. So when I say, or if I call myself a black person, well, that takes away something from me, the individual, because Damian Jackson is no longer considered Damian Jackson. Now considered black, African American, as well as Damian Jackson. But whoa. No. Nothing exists outside of me, the individual, as far as you trying to find a way to label me. That's it. You can't say, oh, if I was a professional basketball player, you can't say, oh, well, he's a basketball player. That's what he is. That's who he is. No. That's something that I do. That's something that I enjoy. The professional comes in because I get paid. Are you a basketball player if you don't get paid to play basketball? You're still a basketball player, right? You're just not professional. Nothing changes other than you receiving imaginary money for something. So why would you want to describe yourself as that? It's not a description. That's not nothing. That's just saying that you do an action. That's it. So why would I want to describe myself as black? Why would I want to describe myself as white if I'm neither black nor white? Why would I go about these things? As long as we call each other black, white, brown, yellow, pink, purple, bullshit, 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 guess what? That's what we'll get. Bullshit. And we will have race and racism because it's just a belief. It is a belief. It's not even a belief. It's something that has been programmed into us. We have been lied to our whole entire lives. People in my generation, people before me, we've been fucking lied to. I made it a point for me not to say white when I describe someone to my kids. I made it a point for me not to say black when I describe someone to my kids. Because how can you end racism if you keep believing that racism exists? You can't understand. You cannot even fight racism because it's a belief. It's like trying to fight religion, saying, oh, we got to stop these Christians. We got to stop these Jewish people. You're trying to stop someone from believing in something? You can't. All you can do is just raise awareness in yourself. All you can do is ask yourself the tough questions. How can I, well, what would I do if I sit down and talk to a white supremacist? I can almost guarantee that if I sit down and talk to a white supremacist, they'll probably come out of the conversation and be like, well, I don't really like black people, but I like him. And other people would be like, well, you're still racist, even though he just kind of threw his racist ideology out the window because he looked past the skin color of me, the individual, and said he likes me. It's a crazy thought, right? Another one of my crazy concepts that seems so radical, but makes so much sense. I'm racist, you're racist, we're all racist. As long as we succumb to this racial ideology, you cannot be racist. You cannot. You cannot. Stupid shit like dancing. When I can't dance, I don't have the same rhythm as some black people. So guess what? Oh, he danced like a white boy. You ain't got no rhythm. When white people dance, oh, look how they dance. They dance like white people. They can't dance to our hip hop music. And then you see a white person dancing hip hop music, and it's like, oh, well, they dance like a black girl, or they dance like a black kid, a black boy. That's racist, man. It's racist. It makes no fucking sense. This is the world that we live in. A world of illusion. The literal matrix of your goddamn mind. Your eyes are lying to you. You're seeing something that's not actually there. You're seeing differential within the human species, but it's not really there because if you take a perspective from on top of, if you're looking at Earth from outer space, if you're looking at the human species as a whole, will you actually see all these differences? I say this all the time. When you look at a dog is a dog. Yeah, you can say, oh, it's this breed and that breed, but it doesn't change anything. It's still a dog. Because if a dog can have sex with another dog, it's in the same species. I forget what the actual that saying or theory is called. I don't think it's a theory, but at the same time, if a dog was able to have sex with a cat and have successful offspring throughout generations, well, then guess what? Create a whole new species. Or those species probably have always been the same species. You kind of get what I'm saying. It's interesting to me because if I look at an ant, if you look at an ant with a magnifying glass, or well, it's probably that you're burning them. But if you look at an ant through a magnifying glass, microscope, whatever, you get down, you can see the differences. But from a larger perspective, you're just like, whatever, that's an ant. Although you have your red ants, you have your black ants, you have all these different color ants stuff. Are they different species of ants, or are they just ants? Or it's just how we perceive them. Once again, outside of mating rituals, sexual reproduction, that's the only way we would determine different species. Talked about before how you have the hominid group where you have your different your Homo erectus, Homo Neanderthal, whatever. You have your now you have your Homo sapien and your us modern humans, the Homo sapiens sapiens. So you had all these other pre-existing Homo Neanderthals or hominids rather, and we're all still what, the primate family. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I actually read science and pay attention to the science that which they say this past year, follow the science. Well, it's funny because we actually follow the science. None of this shit makes sense. None of the shit that is talked about from a social standpoint in society makes fucking sense. You talk about science, you can't, in science, there is no race. That's why this definition says belief, because there is no race. It's just a belief. We're just trying to find ways to categorize each other for no goddamn reason. Before it was just based on your tribe or the land that you own. That's it. But once again, when you take a nation as big as the landmass big as the United States of America, and you have this country and you develop this country and stuff, you gotta find a way, or someone probably with ill intentions and said, hey, you know what? We gotta find a way to divide people up. How can you divide them up? Oh, look, he's white, he's black. Let's go with that. Actually, that was all you could say, that race was developed to kind of more or less justify slavery, which is kind of odd to even say that, because there is no justification for slavery. It's just fucked up. People are just fucked up. We try to go deep into things, but really it's not that deep. Regardless of a white supremacist, for whatever reason they don't like someone else, guess what? They just don't like that person. We need to dig into that person and that individual internally and figure out, why do you not like other people for whatever reason that you don't like other people. But it's not about them not liking other people. It's not about them disliking other people. It's about them inside themselves. So what is going on with you internally that makes you want to exert negative energy externally? That is a real question. That is something we all have to ask. Because the white supremacists will say that they hate. Meanwhile, the black person be like, oh, I don't like white people like that. You know, too many white people here. I gotta go. If I see a bunch of Spanish people having a party and stuff, where you be like, oh man, these Mexicans or these Spanish people, that's how they party right there. That's racist. That's racist. You can say that's a cultural thing. Is it a cultural thing to who? Is all Hispanics from the same place? That's Hispanic. Goddamn, is a generic term. Hispanic, Hispanol, Hispanic, Spain. But yet, when we speak of Hispanic, we're not talking about people from Spain. We're talking about people from Mexico, South America, and the Caribbean. So we're not even talking about no ancestry shit either in Spain. We're not even talking about that. It's racist. It's racist, man. Oh my God. Asian American. Why is it Asian American? Why is it African American? It's Asian American, but it's not European American. It's racist. We don't even say that. We just say white. Even though white is a generic term. And apparently you could be black, Hispanic as well. What does that mean? You're from Africa and you're from Spain? Well, if you're from Spain, you're from Europe. It's like people forget that Europe and Portugal is part of, or rather Spain and Portugal is one sharing the same fucking landmass. A little different than the island of Istanbul, where you got, what is it, Democrat, what is it? Democrat Republic? Dominican Republic. Damn, I can't think of Dominican Republic. Was it Dominican Republic and Cuba that share the same landmass? I can't remember. Or I can't remember. That's racist. That's racist right now. I can't remember that shit. Cause I'm grouping them all together. That's racist. Like I just literally just said some racist shit to you. You didn't even realize it. Because no one gives a fuck. Because unless I'm a white person talking about someone else, see how they weaponize it? And you think this is the first time in history that they have done this in certain parts of the world? No. You just find a way to divide people up, because those in a position with power, or so-called power, quote-unquote power and resources, they're thinking, shit, I don't want none of y'all to fuck with my stuff. Let me keep y'all distracted so y'all don't pay attention to what I'm really doing. That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to me. That's a brilliant plan. Let me give y'all race. Let me constantly talk about race so you guys have no idea what's going on. And that way, when we have presidential election, I done told you Trump is racist, Trump is racist, Trump is racist, even though there's literally no evidence for it. And anything that has been said about him being racist has been completely proven false. The fact that these people ain't even stretching the truth are misleading, they're just flat out lying. Meanwhile, you have Joe Biden can say one of the racist things you can say, saying that if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. That's fucking racist. Like, that's a racist statement. But no one says anything. Charlemagne and the guy just kind of like laughs at it. But he's not a sellout. But I am a sellout. Why? I vote for Trump. I'm a sellout. The real question is, what am I aware of that you aren't? What makes me go this route that you can't see? What perspective or perspectives am I seeing that you aren't? It doesn't make me more intelligent, doesn't make me more wise, doesn't make me more nothing. All it is that I'm just paying attention to something that you have yet to pay attention to. But don't worry, when you pay attention to this, you're going to see the same shit I'm seeing. Because we're all on our own individual journey. That's it. And when we partner up with someone, and whatever the case may be, we're just trying to find someone who's going about the same pace as our journey, or at least are in this, kind of going along the same journey that we're going, so we can mush together and have that shared journey. I have yet to really find someone like that in my life. Yes, I have friends, I have family members and stuff, but we're not all on the same journey. Doesn't mean I don't love them the same. Doesn't mean I don't still care about them. Doesn't mean I don't think about them all the time. Think about all the people that have all the effect, the different effects in my life throughout my life. I still think about all of them, but we're all on our own journey. You understand that? We're all on our own journey, and there's nothing wrong with it. So when you talk about racism and racist, understand that it's not actually you talking about this. It's what you've been told. I fell for it. We all fallen for it. I wouldn't say we all. I'm pretty sure there's some people out there who knew from the beginning. It took me a while to finally accept it. It went until high school, probably later in my early adult years, when I was like, nah, fuck this shit. Actually, when I married my ex-wife. Because that when I said, fuck this race shit, I'm tired of all y'all, lick my nutsack, I can marry a white woman. And if I'm Uncle Tom, if I am wherever I am, cool. I know black people look at me like, oh, he only mess with white women. He's one of those black people. Whatever, kiss my ass. I know white people look at me like, oh, look, he's just like us. He's not really one of those black people. He's not really ghetto like that. He doesn't really talk like that. Guess what? Kiss my ass. This shit doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense. Understand that. None of this makes sense. So as race is constantly being talked about, I hate race. But don't worry, I'm going to be here to constantly denounce that shit and squash that shit, because you guys aren't paying attention to what is really going on. These people in the goddamn government, in the Capitol building, in the White House, your presidents of the past, doesn't matter. They're all fucking with us, man. They're all fucking with us. Some positive, some negative. Majority negative, probably like 90% negative, it seems like it. And it's probably a good percentage that are positive, but they're fucking with us. Pay attention to what they're doing. So as they want to throw out your little $1,400 checks, fuck you and your checks that are generational, or the generations after us, we're going to have to pay for it. Where do you think this money's coming from? Somebody's going to have to pay for this shit, bro. These are the things we really should be focusing on. Notice that they throw race into every fucking thing that we do in the aspect as far as American life. I know I have people outside of the country that are listening, but well, you're listening for a reason, because you want to know what the fuck's going on in America. This is what's going on. Let history tell something completely different. I'm putting my voice right now on the airwaves, in the digital sphere, in cyberspace, to let it know, As they try to rewrite history right in front of our eyes, I want to be the voice that says, no, 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 no. That's not really how it was. You motherfuckers are lying. That's what it is, bro. For those of you, think about it. Think about it. How many actual friends you have of a so-called different culture, so-called different race? How many friends do you have? I have friends from all over the place, all around the world. Do I have friends from all around the world? I've talked to people from all around the world. Friends is a loose term, but you get what I'm saying. I use that loosely. But when we talk about race, man, like we're not actually talking about anything from a logical standpoint. All we're doing is reciting things that have been told through us to us throughout the generations. When you talk about systemic oppression, you're talking about victimhood. I am not a victim. I am not a victim of anything. I'm not a victim of circumstances. I'm not a victim of the situation. None of that shit. Because I have the belief that I have the ultimate control or determination in my life. And whether you believe in fate or not, if here's the thing about fate. What if your fate, your destiny is also something you choose before you came into existence in this human life form? You don't know that shit. You don't know that shit. No difference in a video game. You get into the video game, you play the character based on the script in which you're going and stuff, and you have so many different deviations and variations based on your choices you make that your story will have. Even though if the game is not that great, the outcome is still the same regardless of what choices you make. That's fate. That's destiny. It's fixed. But how do you not know your fate, your destiny is fixed, but not fixed at the same time because you are the one in control of it, constantly changing it? Let me stop. I'm starting to go somewhere else with that. I get it. I get it. I shouldn't do that shit. I got a bad habit of doing it. I want to also show you guys the definition of racism. Racist, rather. There is none. There's none for Merriam-Webster Dictionary. You have the dictionary.com. Let's see what this bullshit says. Racist, a person who believes in racism. Oh, shit. Right? For those of you on the audio version, like I said, I'm reading from dictionary.com. Racist, a person who believes in racism, the doctrine that one's own racial group is superior or that a particular racial group is inferior to the others. Like I said, if you thinking black people can rap better than white people, or Eminem is one of my favorite rappers ever. Despite some of the shit that he he kind of went off the deep end, probably a clone, whatever. I don't care. So he comes in and raps. I remember it was Chris Rock stand-up comedy special that he said that. He's like, yeah, he was talking about the best tennis player is black and the best rapper is white. And he was laughing, everybody's laughing and stuff. And back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when race was a joke to us and we all make fun of the shit. When everybody wasn't so butthurt. I can't believe I have to say this. Like, oh, back in my day, it's crazy because that's also too by design. Apparently, words hurt people now. It's funny too. I never been called a nigger. Never been called a nigger. A lot of racism I face comes from black people. Like I said, saying I'm not black enough. Oh, you listen to that white boy music. Oh, you want to skateboard? That's what white people do. Oh, you want to play soccer? That's what white people do. Soccer's like the number one sport in the world. But whatever. Doesn't matter. Context doesn't matter to people because it's about emotions. And really, it's just going off what other people have said. As well as, you don't want to face the ostracism that I feel, the critical gestures are the words that I face when I be like, oh no, I'm sorry, I dare to be myself. Excuse me, because I want to jump on a skateboard and ride around and stuff. I'm sorry. Excuse me because I want to listen to Limp Bizkit. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was for white people. I thought it was just music. Crazy me. Silly me. What's wrong with you, silly rabbit? No, 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 no. I'm sorry, cause I like 8 Mile and B Rabbit and shit, right? You see, I threw that reference in there. But it's funny to me because as Eminem rapping, as I think of that Chris Rock stand-up special, Eminem rapping or being one of the best rappers, arguably speaking, because you can't really, no one can be the best of anything because you don't know everyone has ever rapped. But anyways, saying he's such prominence, such skill, that has nothing to do with race or anything. All it has to do is just him having love and appreciation for the music and the culture that goes around with that type of genre of music. And even when you're talking about genre of music, you're only talking about beats per minute. Beats per minute and instruments. You change up the beats per minute, fast or slow. You change up the instruments, add drums, guitars, Trampoline, trampoline. Trampolines, I can't even think of the fucking words. You add in some other piano and shit like that, all of a sudden you got orchestra, you got violins, you got different type of music. But you throw in some more drums, all of a sudden it's hip hop infused with this. Really, hip hop just kind of takes some of everything, but whatever. You have your jazz. Is jazz for white people, jazz for black people? I mean, what is it? Was it Kenny? Was it Kenny Saxon? Kenny something? It kind of changed that too, right? Hell, Bill Clinton played the saxophone. Oh, that's right. Bill Clinton's the first black president. Yeah, tell me how that makes sense. Like, you understand? I'm just throwing out all these different things because you gotta laugh at this because it doesn't make sense. But until you take your emotions out of it and look at this from the logical standpoint, because it is a belief, it's not even a belief. It's something that has been pushed upon us by design. Like I said, a person who believes in racism, guess what? I am racist, you are racist. Because if we believe in racism, and racism, the definition, we just saw it. A belief that race is a fundamental determinant of human traits. I don't even know if I'm saying that word right. Of human traits and capacities, and that racial differences produce an inherent superiority of a particular race. If you think white people can't rap and shouldn't be along and rap, you're racist. Lord Jamar, those people are racist. That's racist, bro. That's racist. I don't even understand how no one could come to that thought process. Like, that's the most logical conclusion based on basic reasoning skills. I didn't make this shit up. I'm sorry. It's not my fucking fault. I'm just calling it out for what it is. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. But if and when you think about races, guess what? I guarantee the first thing you thought of was a white person. You racist motherfucker. Oh my god. I can't believe this channel is blowing up. Or not blowing up. I can't believe it's increasing. Cause what the fuck am I talking about, man? I'm just speaking too much shit that makes sense. I feel like I'm making too much sense for people. But the thing is, if you sit and think about it, you'll come to the same conclusions, man. Sit and think about these things. You will come to the same conclusion. Now, it won't take you a while to come to the same conclusion. What will take you a long time to is come to a realization of the reality of around you, and then be bold enough to say, I don't think this shit is cool. That's a whole different level. No, the social peer pressure. Kind of like, Nazi Germany, people turned on each other. It wasn't the Nazis, the troops coming into towns, the citizens themselves turned on each other. Oh, you mean that's how you destabilize a nation and take over it? Yeah. I think that's how it is. You mean that's how a nation falls? Yeah. Sodom and Gomorrah, Rome, you go through history, you'll see when nations fall. It's when they turn on each other internally due to some external influence, but mainly because someone within the nation sold us out. So every time you think about race and you talk about, oh, well, black people do this better, or white people, they don't really have the same thing, you're being racist. Like I said, I am racist. So are you. We're all racist. I've been trying to take my mind off of racism and stuff, but damn it, I still catch myself. If I'm in the gym and I see a girl, I was like, oh, she's attractive. I was like, oh, man, she's white. And I catch myself like, why am I even saying that, bro? Why am I saying that? Oh, I know why I'm saying. Because I know if I date another white woman, guess what? That's all people are going to talk about me. Of course, not to my face, but behind my back. And as I said, it's not even a negative thing. Like, I don't even take offense to that. Because I know it has nothing to do with actually who I am or any logic or anything. It's just something that they say because everyone's adopted racism. It's shit like that, man. That's racist. That's racist. That's racism. Because I had to think twice about dating a white woman because I don't want someone to, because I not want to, because I'm concerned or I'm thinking somebody gonna be like, oh man, you're dating another white woman. You see, you only like white girls. Racist. They're racist. I'm racist. Because we're only focusing on race as opposed to the individual. That is hypocritical of me. That's hypocritical of you. We have to do better as the individual. You have to do better as a human being. I have to do better as a human being. I tell my kids this every fucking day. I was like, you gotta be the best version that you can be every day. You gotta try your best to be a good human being. As I said, I'm not a good human being because I'm trying to be. I hope I reach that in this lifetime. But guess what? If I reach that in this lifetime, I'll probably be dead the next day. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm like, oh, sounds good to me. Let me wipe my hands clean. Yeah, I done passed this stage of life on to the next one. But it's wild because that's racist. That's racist for me to even think of that. Oh man, if I date a white girl, somebody gonna be mad that I'm dating white, or not be mad, but somebody gonna be like, oh look, he dates another white girl. That's what he likes. I'm sorry, I like vagina. Uh, I like vagina. Last time I checked, that's what I like. I like vagina. I like women with boobs, hair. Feminine features, feminine facial structure. Biology. I like women. I don't care what their skin color is. I like women. That's the shit I like. That's what I like to have sex with. Women. Like, that's me. Right? Everybody's identifying everything they want in the world. How come I can't identify as me? Oh my God. Wait a minute. What did you say? You can't do that. What are you talking about, Damien? You can't identify as yourself. No, you have to identify as a group. You have to identify as a skin tone. You have to identify as the part of the world that you live in. You can't identify as yourself. How do you identify as yourself? Actually, you know what? You can't even identify as yourself because you are who you are, yourself. There's no identification. There's no category. There's nothing that you can be placed into. You are just you. That's it. You are just you. Nothing else, nothing less. And what you are is who you are. And what you're trying to determine is what you can become. You are your own evolutionary journey. You are your own conscious awareness or conscious journey where you're trying to aware your consciousness or raise the level of awareness of your consciousness. That's all you're trying to do. Expand your perspective, vision, and have other perspectives as well. This is probably going to, some people won't get this, man. Some people will not get this. Some people will not get this podcast. They will not understand this episode. They will be like, what? Nah. Actually, some of y'all probably won't even make it this far. They'll see the title and be like, oh, I'm not listening to that. This dude's crazy. Like I said, I hope you think I am crazy. I hope you think I am crazy. I hope you think I'm so crazy that it's entertaining for you to listen to me so you could be like, well, man, that guy's so fucking crazy. He said some dumb shit. He said some wild shit. Because I guarantee you cannot listen to me and not have a second thought and be like, you know what? Actually, that one thing he said kind of made sense. I promise you. I promise you. Because I'm just like you. I'm just like everybody else in America and around the world. Looking at race and thinking these different things. But one day I stop and think, hey, wait, what the fuck did I just say? Or I stop and think, oh, wait, did I really just have that thought? It's kind of hypocritical of me, right? That's what it comes down to, man. I go on and on and on, but I'm not going to because I'm sure I'm gonna bring this up as something else. But I just had to get that off my chest because that whole Meghan Markle thing. My first thought was she's talking about the royal family racist. My first thought was, what? She's black? What the fuck? And I had to catch myself like, God damn, I'm racist. I'm still doing it. I'm still fucking doing it. But I'm glad I caught myself because that lets me know that I am doing a better job of being present in the moment and being conscious of exactly what comes out my mouth. And actually, what thought I have in my head because I didn't even speak this out loud. I was thinking this in the bathroom and stuff, and I wasn't even thinking about anything else. But it's good to know that I'm catching these moments because how can you try to be a better human being if you don't actually take the time to work on yourself? And being a better human being means ask yourself the tough questions. What questions can you ask yourself that will push you past your emotional point, push you past your mental limits, and make you raise your conscious awareness? Like I said, for me, it's like the simple things of, oh, well, this black person does this, or black people do this, or white people do this. That's racist. You're identifying with, you're judging people based on the color of their skin. That's racism. That's racist. Because you're a person that believes in racism. That's from the dictionary.com because racist is just a word that they fucking made up. It doesn't even make sense. You understand? None of the shit makes sense. It doesn't make sense. That's why I keep saying a belief, a belief. This person believes. Oh, in regards, because you're just making it up. You're just making it up. What is that argument where, not argument, but what is that saying where, or the situation rather, that if human beings, and modern human beings, this time frame, and when we, or whatever, see another alien species, we'll all come together because basically everybody get hit, slapped in the face by, oh shit, we are just one species. Who the fuck are these people? You notice? I talked about it before, like the Homo sapiens sapiens, we destroyed or killed off everybody else, all the other hominids, and we're just the only ones left. And it's like we have no idea what to do when there's no competition. So we find ways to compete amongst ourselves. Because it's one thing to be programmed to be told about race since you're a kid and stuff. It's another thing to adopt it. That's why I say it's also your responsibility. Actually, rather, you are accountable for your own thoughts. Not to say that you need to be accountable or held accountable for your actions. Actions are different, but your thoughts are your own thoughts alone. And everybody has had a racist thought, especially in America. That's something that you can almost damn near guarantee. But once again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a negative thing. It could be positive, it could be neutral, whatever. But racists talk so much. Oh, it's racial equality. We need more race, and we need more different colors at work, in the work environment. We need more black people being executives. We need more black people being coaches in the NFL. No one stops and asks the question, hey, are black people actually applying to be coaches? They're actually a lot. Oh, he didn't get the job. He didn't get a job because he was black. That, how do you know that though? You're just speaking. That's just a speculation. I thought we're not supposed to speculate anything. You're supposed to gather information, gather evidence and stuff, and then come to a conclusion. You know, scientific method. Oh, whoa, chill out, chill out, chill out. You're making too much sense. There you go again with that logic and that reasoning. All right, I'll stop. But that's something that people really should ask themselves. What does that mean, right? How does that make sense? Martin Luther King said, "Be judged on the content of your character." Yet it seems like we said fuck that shit and ignored it. It's like, now we're gonna keep judging each other on skin color. Thanks, MLK, but yeah, we didn't need that. Even Malcolm X, on his pilgrimage to Mecca, was like, oh, well, you mean this blonde-haired, blue-eyed person will give me his home and shelter and stuff? Oh, it must just be these white people in America then. Even he was wrong. It's not the white people in America. It's just some people. That's it. And you need to find each individual to determine why they feel that way that they feel, why they and really why they think the way they think. But because they're not leading with their logical reasoning first, the logical side of their brain. They're leading with their emotions first. Remember, human beings are governed by our emotions. That's why shit doesn't make sense. It's Look, I get it. I think I talked about it before as far as I forget what personality test. I get it. I have a logical personality, but it's not, to me, it's not a personality thing. It's just stop and think about these things. Like, hey, what did I just actually think? Like, what was that thought I just had? Like, wait, what did I just say? Racist, bro. Racist. We say a lot of racist things all the time. I say racist things all the time. I do a lot better at keeping them to myself. I even stopped saying racial jokes, which I think everything is funny. But it's like, my thing, like, it's funny to me because it was so stupid. It's one of those things where it's so illogical that it's funny. And it's not, I'm not saying I would say these racial jokes in a manner in which that wasn't degrading anybody. Like, you know, the whole Oreo thing I said earlier, that's obviously, that's the degrading thing. You could call it a joke, but then again, that's also perspective as well. Maybe that's something I need to look into myself. Like, hey, you know, even when you say these racial jokes, are you being degrading too? Once again, notice I'm looking at myself and say, hey, are you doing the same thing that you don't want other people to do? Check yourself, guy. That's what I do. No one should check you before you check yourself. Once again, I want to be in control of my life. So in order to feel like I have control, guess what? I need to check myself because I'm not going to let someone else check me. You're not gonna be like, oh, hey, you did this wrong, and just nah, you shut the fuck up. I already know what I did, because I'm paying attention to me first. You don't worry about me. You worry about yourself. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to evolve myself. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. But don't worry. If I want to change the world, guess what I gotta do first? Change myself. I'm trying to evolve. I'm trying to move past all these ideologies that makes no goddamn sense. My emotions and my emotional connection is spirituality, the connection with the universe itself, the connection with all beings and everything existence in the universe. That's what I'm trying to be connected to. I'm trying to move past the so-called skin tone, the skin tone that will change if I don't have no sunlight. A lot of y'all ain't been outside for a little while, past year or so, since they said 15 days to flatten the curve, and a lot of y'all got a little bit lighter. But don't worry, because I think the World Economic Forum has an ultraviolet light that you can stand underneath. So you go ahead and take that fake UV light. I'll go ahead and take this sunlight and be happy with it. This is environmental features, man. Like I said, a lot of y'all are shade lighter because you've been walking around with a goddamn mask on your face. Because you have been outside. So what is skin tone when you're not getting the same sun exposure anymore? Oh, maybe a little bit whiter than what you thought you were. Maybe not as black as you thought you were. Maybe you said, fuck this, I'm spending all summer at the beach. Next thing you know, you're a little bit darker than what you thought you were. Next thing you know, your hair texture is not the same as Meghan Markle, but your skin color is. So you probably are black as well. Hey, fuck it. Fuck it. Why not? Why not? Identify as black. Men identify as women, little boys identify as girls. Why can't I identify as where the fuck I want to identify? Me. I'm sorry. A crazy concept. Why would I want to identify as myself? That's stupid. I just had to get this shit off my chest, man. This more was an impromptu episode. That whole Meghan Markle thing just kind of like caught me because I'm like, God damn, I had to catch myself. I was like, oh shit, I'm being racist, bro. Because like I said, my first thought was, if she's not black, what the fuck is she talking about? And the funny thing is, that was my first thought when I first saw her years ago. And this time I caught myself. I was like, okay, wait. You can't go down this road again, guy. You really need to pay attention. You're being racist. So I'm racist, you're racist, wherever, because we have a belief in racism. I'm just telling you the definition from dictionary.com and from Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Whatever definition you want to make up, don't worry. I'm sure they're going to try to rewrite these definitions soon as well. So it is what it is. As always, the podcast live streaming on DLive website and app Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If the time changes or anything's going on, I'll send out a tweet or I'll be on Gab. Go to DamienJackson22.com. Check out my social media link, my podcast links. I'll be back on tomorrow. Today, Wednesday? Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow. We'll be back in full swing of things. There's a lot of news articles I got to catch up on and stuff and get that out there. I'll be back on making videos. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Odyssey. Check out all that shit. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the comments. Appreciate all the good stuff. I appreciate all the negative stuff too. Because, gotta get your content from somewhere. So I appreciate the negative. Gotta appreciate everything, man. Gotta appreciate it all. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the last week. You had a good weekend, and hopefully you're enjoying the day. Remember, you are amazing. You are beautiful. You are yourself, the individual first and foremost. Don't let nobody else tell you anything fucking different. You are you, and you are great. You are amazing. Have a great day. Enjoy life. All that good shit. So until next time.